Hello everyone, welcome to Barca News. It is May 1st, 2025, and La Liga have once again embarrassed themselves, handing shameful punishment to Real Madrid players. Also, Barcelona have received an injury boost ahead of the second leg of the semifinals against Inter Milan. And finally, Marcus Thuram has snubbed Lamine Yamal. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo and I'm still out of the country. I'm still not at home, not in my YouTube studio, and therefore I'm bringing you this short live stream since I cannot film, edit, and upload. And this live stream is not a podcast, so I will not be addressing the comment section. This is only to keep you up to date on all the news in regards to our beloved club, FC Barcelona. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, and let's begin with the news because, ladies and gentlemen, La Liga have handed down punishments to the Real Madrid players after the fiasco in their loss at the hands of Barcelona in the Copa del Rey final. And well, it's been announced that Rudiger has received a 6-match suspension. Now, as you know, Rudiger completely lost it after Real Madrid's defeat at the hands of Barcelona. He threw bandage at the referee. He tried to throw a bag full of ice at the referee. He had to be held back by his teammates because he was trying to attack the referee, and who was even seen and heard saying, "You are dead." In other words, threatening the referee with death. The punishment to that kind of behavior is between 4 to 12 matches, and he has only received a 6-match suspension, which of course is absolutely shameful by La Liga, especially when you think about how Lewandowski, when he did this, touched his nose, received a 3-match ban, but Rudiger physically assaults the referee, tries to assault him again by trying to throw a bag, tries to assault him again, and they have to hold him back, and even threatens him with death, and he receives a 6-match suspension. So apparently, touching nose, it's up there with threatening a referee with death, according to this joke of a league. Also, Carvajal, who invaded the pitch and started yelling at the referee for a call that he didn't agree with, has only received a 2-match ban. And finally, the bigger joke even here, Jude Bellingham, who was also insulting the referee, who also had to be held back by his teammates. They have revoked his red card and given him 0 matches. So, touching your nose, 3-match ban. Trying to attack the referee, hit him, whatever, insulting him, no punishment. It's totally okay. Just remember, do not touch your nose. You can insult the referee, you can throw things at him, you can try to attack him, you can try to hit him, you can threaten him with death, but do not touch your nose. That is a big, big no-no. Anyways, speaking of referees, speaking of this joke of a league, guess who will be reffing Real Madrid's match against Celta Vigo during this weekend? It's no other than Gil Manzano, the referee who was seen leaving the Santiago Bernabeu with bags full of gifts with the Real Madrid logo on them. Someone who every time refs Barcelona matches, there's controversy because of bad calls against Barcelona. And while he has been chosen to ref Madrid's match against Celta Vigo, it looks like, well, gotta give them some help. They were knocked out of the Copa del Rey. They were knocked out of the Champions League. They were knocked out of the Spanish Super Cup. The league is the only thing they have left. They're 4 points behind of Barcelona. So here comes Gil Manzano to the rescue. And sure, it is Celta Vigo. Sure, they are playing at the Bernabeu. But let's be honest, this Real Madrid can lose against anyone because we've seen them. They're absolute shit during this season. Now, speaking of referees, I do have more bad news for you because remember this guy? And here I'll make the picture a little bigger so you can see it. This is the Polish referee, Simon Marciniak. This is the referee who reffed the match between Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid. He's a referee who decided to cancel the penalty kick scored by Julian Alvarez for that supposed double touch. And he's the referee who this picture became viral because there he is in the locker room. And if you look at his toiletry bag, he has the Real Madrid logo. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine a referee going to ref a match and he has the Real Madrid logo on his stuff and then he goes makes a call like that against Julian Alvarez? Well, the news is that he is being considered to be the ref between Barcelona and Inter Milan in the second leg of the semifinals of the Champions League. Let's hope that's not the case because, well, just look at that picture. Anyways, speaking of the match between Barcelona and Inter Milan, it's reported that the team was very disappointed with their performance yesterday, where the team drew 3-3. There has been a lot of self-criticism by the players and by Hansi Flick, while the players are not happy how they conceded 2 goals right away at the beginning of the match. And they were very quick goals, and they're also not happy with the fact that Inter Milan only had 3 attempts and all 3 ended up being goals, while Barcelona had 20 plus and they only scored 3 goals. And I have to say, I actually think this is a good thing. Self-criticism is very, very important. It's important that these players admit that they made mistakes, they understand that they made mistakes, and they know what these mistakes are, and therefore they'll be able to address them, fix them, and hopefully not repeat them in the second leg, because we've seen that this team is very much capable of defeating Inter Milan. I think yesterday Barcelona dominated the match. They dominated Inter Milan. They played excellent. They generated so many chances. They scored goals. They made 2 comebacks. But silly mistakes is what cost us the 3 other goals. So if Barcelona can address those mistakes, then I think we have a really good chance at advancing to the final. And in fact, Hansi Flick in the post-match press conference was also self-critical and was not happy whatsoever with the result, where the German coach said the following: "We didn't start well. We conceded 2 goals, but then we did come back. We have to defend better. They showed that they are a great team with a lot of experience. They took advantage of set pieces. This is the semifinals of the Champions League, and the best team remain. Inter are really good and tough." So Hansi Flick, admitting that the team did not play that well and that there were some mistakes made. And in fact, 2 goals came from corner kicks. So again, this is really good. It's important that the coach and the players admit that there were mistakes. They know what those mistakes are so they can address them, fix them, and then we can do better in the second half. Now, speaking of yesterday's match, I do have bad news because Jules Koundé has underwent medical exams and his injury has been confirmed by the club. He has a left hamstring injury. And even though Barcelona have not detailed how long he will be out, well, it's being reported that Koundé could be out for 2 weeks. So what does that mean? It means that Jules Koundé will miss the second leg of the Champions League semifinal against Inter Milan, and of course, El Clásico match against Real Madrid in La Liga. 2 very important matches who will determine the outcome of both competitions, but hopefully Flick will find a replacement. We have Eric Garcia who can play there. We have Hector Ford, and hopefully the replacements will be able to do the job, do it well enough to where Barcelona are not penalized or punished by this absence. Now, from bad news, we move on to good news because, ladies and gentlemen, we do have an injury boost ahead of the second leg of the semifinals, and that is Alejandro Valde and Robert Lewandowski, because Valde is expected to be 100% fit for the second leg of the semifinals. So that's really, really great news because I think we've really missed Valde. We've missed that attacking punch attacking prowess that Valde gives us. So he will be back for that second leg. That's great, great news. As far as Lewandowski, he's not going to be 100% fit, so he's not expected to play the full 90 minutes, but they're talking about maybe he could come off the bench and play some minutes, and that's also going to be very important because we've seen that we've really missed that, goal-scoring ability that Lewandowski has, that box predator mentality that Lewandowski has. So 2 great injury boosts for Barcelona. And they're also talking about maybe Lautaro Martinez could miss the second leg due to injury. So again, like I said yesterday, yes, we drew. It would have been better to win, but I wasn't angry. I think Barcelona played really well. I think Barcelona showed a capability that they're able to beat Inter Milan. And for the second leg, I think we could do better. First, there's the mistakes that we're going to be able to learn from and improve upon. Second, I think the players are going to be more rested. Remember, yesterday, the players came back after playing 2 extra halves in the Copa del Rey final against Real Madrid. So if Flick rotates this weekend against Real Valladolid, the players are going to be more fresh, more rested. And now we're going to have Valde and Lewandowski giving us a boost. And with Inter Milan potentially missing Lautaro Martinez. So again, I'm very confident about the second leg. Look, we could still lose, but I think this team is capable of competing, and I think we have a good chance at making it to the final. Anyway, speaking of that match, Marcus Thuram snubbed Lamine Yamal yesterday when he was asked whether Lamine Yamal is the best player in the world. And this is what the Inter Milan player said. No, I don't think so. The best player in the world is French. The second best player, I think, is also French. They are Dembele and Kylian. Yamal is maybe the third. I encouraged Di Marco, telling him that it was normal for Yamal to pass, that he always would, no matter what we did. But that we shouldn't give up and keep wearing him down. You can't stop players like that alone. You can do it as a team. 2-on-1 marking, maybe 11-on-1 marking. We'll see what the coach asks of us. So Marcus Thuram saying that you need 11 players to stop Lamine Yamal, but somehow, some way, he's not the best. That Dembele and Kylian Mbappe are better. Okay, I think Marcus Thuram is just embarrassed that Lamine Yamal dribbled him so many times. But hey, I'll take it because Mr. Thuram, you have no idea what you just did. We've all seen how Lamine Yamal has reacted whenever someone has snubbed him. So I don't think you know what you just did, because this will definitely going to be fuel for Lamine Yamal. And if Lamine Yamal was absolutely lethal during the first leg, just get ready for the second leg. Anyways, that is all the news for this video. Did go live a few moments ago. If you haven't seen that video yet, make sure you do. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment. And as always, peace, guys.